Shorty Torres here on the program. Get ready for Pedro Nobri again. It was a weird. We did the interview before. It's basically the same interview, but a few months later. What exactly happened the last time that Pedro pulled out?
So, 2 weeks before the fight, I'm home getting my weight cut down. Everything's good. I get to the week of Monday. I'm 5 pounds overweight. Get dressed to go run, and Lex McMahon gives me a call, and he's like, "Hey, man, Pedro Nobra tore his ACL." And I go, "So you're telling me?" He goes, "Oh yeah, the fight's off." I'm like, "I missed Thanksgiving." He goes, "Yeah, you missed Thanksgiving, but yeah, the fight's off, man. I'm sorry to hear that." And I was like, "All right, well, there's no other opponent that deserves a title shot, so I guess right now we'll just wait until the next card." So I wasn't able to go to Miami. Obviously, didn't get paid because I didn't fight, which really sucks for a fighter because that's pretty much how you make your living, through sponsors, through fighting. You get paid when you fight. And I haven't fought since August, so I was like, damn. But Pedro got hurt. I was like, okay, that was my UFC deal-making type of fight. It was a win-win, for me. So they go, "Hey, we're going to get you a fight against another top-coming prospect. He's 12-0 against Gustavo Gabriel." I was like, all right, cool. I'm not a big fan of fighting a prospect. I'd rather fight a veteran to show the UFC that I'm ready for people who've already been through the grind. And two is, I want to put on an entertaining show, and from what I know, he's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, and I don't feel like laying on the floor. That's just my perspective. But and also, I'm not a fan of people going straight into Titan and out of nowhere getting a title shot. It's like, whoa, we've been in the promotion for a little longer, So overall, they signed us up with that. And then a few weeks later, Lex gives me a call and goes, "Hey, Pedro Nobra's manager just called me and says that it's actually a very small tear and he's cleared to fight in January." I go, well, at first the doctor said it was a big ACL tear and he's out for a year. So what's changed? So basically, at least what I come to my assumption is he had a weight cutting problem. He's had a weight cutting problem before. His last fight, he was 6 pounds over. From what they said, he had a virus, was going to call off, but still decided to show out of respect, which is awesome for him. But in this case, he doesn't make weight and he shows up, then he fights for no belt. If he beats me, there's no belt. If he doesn't make weight, now I'm getting 20% of his commission. So now it was a lose-lose for him in a sense. So I'm really, really hoping he makes weight this time. I was like, hey, this is a big fight for me to take, and I decided to take that fight.
Yeah, the time of this interview, we're 20 days away, 18 days away, something like that, before the actual fight. So, and it's weird how you think at 18 days away, in boxing, at 18 days away, the fight's pretty much locked in. Like, it's done. 100% that fight is going to happen. I can't remember, and I could be wrong in these stats, that I can't remember the last time in combative sport where, other than MMA, where someone has pulled out within a month of the fight, And it seems to be a lot of guys now are pulling out 2 weeks, a week before. Two things have come to fruition that I've seen in MMA, and let me know because you're in it still. I'm just on the outside observing it. All the drug testing and the morning weight cut and the morning weigh-ins, as opposed to the afternoon weigh-ins. It's really causing people to start pulling out of fights. They're using excuses, like you said, ACL tear, but really what it is, I'm freaking 14 pounds over. It's the Monday before. I'm not going to make weight. Like, it's just not going to happen. So what do? Oh, I hurt my knee. Okay, it's not that I have a weight problem. I'm hurt. Let's pull out. Same thing with the drug testing. Guys are like, oh, I'm hurt. I can't make it in now. I can't sign up right now for USADA because I'm injured. I'm going to wait till I can sign up when I'm healthy, and that gives them time to get clean or whatever. Do you think that is the bigger reason why a lot of these people now are getting hurt and pulling out of these fights, is because one of those two indications?
One of the biggest thing is, we see people who get busted with, PEDs, are people who are veterans of the sport who've been in it for a while, and then now, has been drug tested, it's been implemented into the sport, and now we're getting in trouble, and the ones coming up with excuses. So usually the veterans are the ones with the problems right now. The newbies are like, we don't know what PEDs are yet. We haven't been that far in our career to be introduced to that. But it's crazy how you see that, and then also people they don't know how to cut weight. This is more of a stereotype, but Brazilians have a bad tendency of not cutting weight properly. You see Jose Aldo, who's had a huge problem. The former bantamweight champion, Renan Barão, had problems. It's a huge, huge problem with especially Brazilians and just overall in the sport of MMA. Just people don't know how to cut weight, and that's why for me, I hired my nutritionist Luis Giordano Nutrition, and I'm actually going to be in Jersey with him the week before my fight to make sure everything is stable. I mean, I've had 3 straight training camps in a row. I just finished training with TJ Dillashaw, getting him ready for John Lineker. I was his main training partner, which was awesome. I have the little red eyes still, because of him. But overall, I mean, my weight is good. I'm only about like 15 to 17 pounds over. This next week is going to be perfectly clean food. Everything's going down. The last week's just easy work. I'm already in shape. I'm not sparring anymore. So I'm just right now cruising, running, getting the cardio up, and just doing my thing. But it's the weight cutting that people see, and it's the thing is, and you see Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks is a huge example of a guy exploding up, fights at 170, but goes all the way up to 220, 230. The biggest thing with these fighters, and I learned through wrestling, is it's weight management. It's not just getting down to your weight class, but having a different type of lifestyle. So you can fight whenever and do a 2-week notice fight and go, I'm only about 10 or 15 pounds overweight. This is easy. It's just water.
So with a guy like Johnny Hendricks, who I've known Johnny since he was 12, he could have been a world champion in wrestling because he had John Smith in his corner. He had, he was getting pushed. He had great training partners. He got tired of cutting weight. Like he's just like, I'm just tired of cutting weight. I'm having a hard time doing it. It's that constant maintenance that I have to be on to make sure I can make weight every Tuesday, every Thursday. And then when you get the opens, it's every couple of months, which makes it harder because you have that time off. We're like, I got one more week. And then but you really need to be on, like you said, you need to be on your weight the entire time. And we saw Johnny's last fight this last weekend. He didn't make weight, and it's like he's too small to go 85 and he's too big to go 170. He's just kind of caught in the middle. So he's got to make a drastic change if he wants to continue. He's also older though. He's also, you still grow as a man. He's still putting on muscle too. Not just being big, but he's also lifting weights and doing explosive drills and stuff. You're young, you're smart, you've got the right stuff in place right now. Have you talked to Lou about what you're going to do to make sure that you can stay this small while still improving your speed and your ability and your strength without bloating up and putting on 20 pounds like someone like Hendricks does?
And that's actually, when I went down to Fort Worth to train with Johnny for his UFC 200 fight, I ended up, talking to him and pretty much explained the same exact thing where I was actually cut out of my final year of wrestling in college because I couldn't make the weight anymore. Like eventually I was just like, I don't want to do 125 anymore. As much as I know I can make the weight, it's the difference between making weight every single 3 months for MMA or making it every single weekend, sometimes twice a weekend for the 2-day tournaments, and just killing your body. And you're not just losing fat, you're losing muscle because your body has nothing else to give. And with the college knowledge that we have, we don't have a nutritionist in college. We don't have the money to pay for that. So we're just, I have this burger. I'm going to step on the scale. This burger's only 0.5 and I'm still on weight. I could eat that. So we end up being a burger or fries just because we can make weight with that, So we don't know the nutrition behind it. And it screws a lot of people over and mainly just kind of adopts into MMA when they transition. For me, Luis Giordano, the first time we did it was I ended up fighting twice at 35 to make sure I can do it properly. And then once I knew, I was like, man, I'm not even cutting weight. I'm just eating better. Now we transitioned to 25, which we saw was able to compete well at 25. I'm like, all right, cool. Now this time through, I'm actually gaining more muscle, but still maintaining my weight going down. So again, I've been, in fight camp since right after my last fight was in August 5th. I've been helping Mark De La Rosa help for his fight down in Fort Worth, and I was helping TJ Dillashaw get ready for this fight. And now I'm, helping myself for this fight. So I've been in nothing but sparring and training camps. So doing all the extreme cardio I've been doing, the strength and conditioning, and working with nutrition literally every single day since August to prepare for this fight, there's no way I'm not making weight and just staying prepared. Again, it's a lifestyle change, not just, all right, cool, fight's over. Well, I'm just eat because I can. And then now, I have a fight in 2 months. Well, I could wait another month and go on down. It's you can still enjoy life. You can still have a burger. You can still have tacos, but being able to manage it and portion it right so it still fits in your lifestyle is proper.
Well, obviously we know you've gotten better. We know that your weight's on track. But what about Pedro? Now the assumption is let's be clear. We're assuming he didn't fight not because he was injured, but because he couldn't make the weight. That's our assumption.
Yeah.
So now you're figuring that now we have to make the assumption that he's going to make weight this time. He's going to show up, and we're going to get all the way to the fight. So, but with that being said, do you think he's gotten any better technically, or has he spent this entire training camp only focusing on trying to get his weight down?
I think he's pretty much stayed the same. That's the biggest thing that my college coach told me. If you're more focused on cutting weight, you're not focused on wrestling. You can only focus 100% on one thing at a time. Everyone tries to multitask, but it's hard to do. Mainly when a weight cut, and from experience, it affects you not just physically but mentally. You start to think, you start to get depressed, unmotivated to do stuff. You don't even want to do it anymore. It starts to suck, and it can really affect your performance. For me, it did in college. Really, I ended up beating the national champ to be, and then later on in the year, I couldn't make weight. The guy ends up being national champ. I'm like, I could have done that, because I was unmotivated to do it. Doing it now, looking at Pedro, if let's say he makes weight, I know he's drained. There's no way that guy's not drained. He fought Tim Elliott, again, one of the best. Now he's back in the UFC, which I'm very, very happy about. When he fought Tim Elliott, he was drained after the second round. It was just he ended up running the whole fight because he was too exhausted to take the onslaught that Tim Elliott was trying to give him. Same thing with Sid Bice. He literally did just enough to beat the kid. For me, I'm too forward of an opponent for people to run away from me. So I'm hoping everything works well that way. Fingers crossed, everything works out to my game plan. But I'm hoping 100% that he makes weight the best weight he can, and I want to fight the best possible Pedro Nobra. I'm not trying to fight a guy who's dying from a weight cut or injured because of his knee or whatever the case may be. I want to put on a show for the fans, myself, and put on a statement to show that, hey man, I'm ready for the next level and I'm just waiting.
Yeah, you guys, and that's the thing that's kind of shitty about this is that if you beat Pedro back in December, whenever it was supposed to happen, you would have gotten the call up to the UFC, assumably by now. Now you got to wait till March before you get the call up because you're going to fight him in January, and now it's like it's delaying your ability to create income, and he costs you money because he didn't fight this last time, so you weren't able to make any money. Your sponsors weren't able to pay you. It's a role when these guys don't show up prepared. It's a profession. You've got to show up prepared. You've got to show up fully going. Now, if I'm wrong and he was actually hurt and he did think he blew his ACL out, then I'm totally sorry, and I get it. If, a knee injury, you're not going to be able to fight a guy like Shorty and expect to win if you got a bad knee injury. It's just not going to happen. Smart thing to do is pull out. Also, too, talking about cutting weight and making it a lifestyle, if you're hurt, you don't want to go into a fight hurt because that's going to ruin your career, offset you with a loss more than likely, but also, too, you're making that injury worse. So I get it. If he's really hurt, then I apologize for making the wrong assumption. But I kind of am in the same boat that you are. I kind of feel like he just wasn't going to be able to make the weight, and as a result, he couldn't fight. Now he screwed you out of 2 paydays and a call-up. By missing one fight, it's 2 paydays and a call-up. So every time somebody does this to you, they're really messing with your family. You're a guy that doesn't fight with emotion. You don't have to hate a guy to try to fight him. You don't have to go out there and I got to rub him in. You just want to be out there and be technical and get the fight done, get either a knockout or submission, and go home. That's all you want to do, which is the way the fight should be. It's a sport. That's the way it should be looked at. But now with this guy, he's cost me some money. He's cost me some issues. Don't you start to get in that little space where you get a little emotional, where you're like, I really want to put a hurt on this guy because he's really kind of screwed me up a little bit?
It does in that back, the back of my mind, like, man, I just really want to do something back. But it's a sport. This stuff happens. Again, like you said, you see it all the time, even in the biggest promotion in the world, the UFC, where you get, TJ Dillashaw was supposed to fight Barao and ended up, the day before going away. And TJ couldn't defend his belt against a guy that people thought he got lucky against. So it even happened and I didn't even get paid the show money.
It's a different scenario. And for TJ, he makes a lot more money than you do. So if he misses an event because he's okay for another 3 or 4 months, the amount of money that Titan is paying you miss an event, you might have to go get a full-time job again. You might have to go back to full-time work because I got to pay my rent for the next 3 months. I don't know how I'm going to put this together. So it's a bigger impact for you, especially not getting any money at all.
It's a struggle for not just myself, for all these other MMA fighters that are trying to come up like myself, of trying to get to the UFC or right at that brink of, people notice you, but, for me, for example, I need that extra fight. People know my record, people know me, but I need to prove a point. And Gustavo Gabriel right now wouldn't have been that point. It would have just been another fight. Pedro Nobret is that guy that people are like, hey, Pedro Nobret is known. I don't know, Jose Shorty Torres beat him. Let's bump him up. That's a good fight. And again, I'm willing to take. Again, I'm only 3-0. I'm willing to take a guy who's 18-2, professional, who's been in the grind, and I'm calling him out. I've seen his film. I've trained with the guys who beat him before. I'm just excited to get in there, and I'm just excited to fight. And for being the main event The first time I ever, professional career, only at 3-0 is already stating something, So I just want to prove a point, man.
Man, I wish you the best of luck, and we all see now that obviously watching Cody Gilbrandt, the way he beat Dominic Cruz, the biggest underdogs and the guys that are set to win, if they just have the right confidence and the right training, they can come out and win on top. And of course, you've also seen the Ronda Rouseys, who are the best, at their weight class, fall off the edge. So we've seen it all happen. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of money to be involved. There's a lot of money for you to get, and I hope that you get every single dollar that you're worth. I hope that every single time that you fight, you look at that contract, you're like, that is what I'm worth, and I'm completely satisfied with that. There's no bitching and no complaining. You go out there and win, because that's the thing that we see a lot of guys that they get up there is like, oh, no, I'm a big star. I'm a big name. How come I'm not getting big bucks? It's like, well, because you're 5-0. You're only 6-0. We're getting there. Wait till you're 20-0. That's a different ballgame. Now we're talking about different things. So it's great, man. And you are going to be a superstar. I really believe that. I thought about that when I was watching you fight in IMAF. In the World Championships, I was like, this kid's going to be a superstar. Not just a star, a superstar within MMA at some point. It's going to happen. And you've got the right attitude. Like, for me, in the same scenario, I'd be like, I'm going to rip his arms off and beat him to death with his own limbs. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, I'd be so angry at the amount of money he has just cost me. And you're like, it sucks. It happens. It's okay. It's a sport. We'll get over it. So it's great.
There's nothing I can do, man. As much, inevitably, I will get to punch him soon enough. So either or, I'm happy, man. I'm just, for everyone watching, I'm just excited. Titan FC 43, January 21st. It's my first main event. And again, I'm trying to prove a point. This is my fight to make, to be bumped up to the UFC, to possibly fight Tim Elliott, the undisputed Titan FC champ. And that's something I want to do eventually when I get up there. And maybe not my first UFC fight, but to prove a point and be kind of that legacy of like two Titan FC champs fighting each other eventually. Like, I just want to put on a show. And I'm not trying to do any type of boring fights or take any easy fights to show that I just need a number. I want to put on a show not just for myself, but everyone watching and supporting me along the way.
Jose, thanks so much for coming on here, man. I really appreciate it. Have fun the rest of your training camp. Enjoy the fight. We'll talk soon.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.